Welcome back to the Your Invisible Advantage podcast. It's me, T. I'm your host, and today we have an episode all about your nice little palatable girl internally creating your content. So, if you have read the title, it is about buyer brain hacking. And something we need to understand about a buyer brain is if your content is polite, which is what I'm referring to with your good little girl internally, if your content is polite, people are not going to hire you. Now, this doesn't mean we be rude. This doesn't mean we have to be savage. This doesn't mean we have to speak in a tone of voice that isn't ours. But what it does mean is that if we are constantly being Switzerland and constantly being the good girl and constantly coddling our audience, that is why our content is literally falling flat. And when I speak about brand world building with people, I always get to the core of what they are actually holding back saying because there is some type of fear internally in them. And this is what I want to help you guys see today, where you will be able to see yourself. I'm going to give examples of content where you can see the palatable, plain version of it, which is polite. It's the nice girl. It's trying to prove and please everyone. And it's the content that will get likes, but it will not get sales. Okay. Then I'm going to show you the difference between that and then how you can actually set yourself as someone that people see as, holy shit, I want to hire that person. Okay. So most people think that their content isn't working because they need a better hook, right? Or maybe they need a better Canva graphic, or maybe I'm just not good at marketing or selling or this, that, the other. But what is actually happening is your content isn't being ignored because it's bad. You're not getting sales because, you're shit at what you do. It's because you're being too polite and hedging in the way that you show up, right? The way that you speak, the way that you articulate yourself is signaling to people with the language you're using, with the words you're using, with the frequency that you show up, that you are not convicted in what you're saying. Okay, it's being ignored because it's too polite, essentially. The buyer brain does not register polite, it registers power, authority, and pattern interruption. That is what we need to understand. So, today I'm going to break down exactly why this content is keeping you invisible. And I'm going to give you your yeses and your nos so that you can actually start to practice it. And you'll usually start with the no version. The no version, it's not that it's wrong or bad, it's just that anyone could be saying it and that person is not going to make sales. The yes version is the you coded version. It's the version that fucking stands for something, the version that agitates and activates something in your buyer to be like, holy shit, that's my person. I need to hire her. So that's what we're really going to have a look at. And we have to understand psychology behind content that sells. The buyer brain is wired for contrast. Okay. It is constantly scanning who's leading, who's the one in charge here, who has the best way to get to this thing, who's doing it in the way that I want to do it, who is the most powerful, trustworthy, consistent person who is going to be able to hold me, lead me, and get me to that result. Okay, if your content isn't recognizing and calling out invisible problems, isn't calling out exactly where they are in their day to day now and understanding where they are, if it's not building tension between where they are and where they want to be, if you're just constantly telling people you're okay where you are, but you're never actually solving problems for them, you're never seeing them where they're at, and you're just doing lots of desire content, well, that's why you're not making any sales. You're being too nice. You're like, you want this and this and this, but you're never speaking to the truth of what's actually required and committed for them to get there. You're not showing them the standard that they need to rise to, and you're not setting true, clear intentions of what's actually required for them to get that and be in your world, right? And that's why it's not converting, is because buyers don't invest in something if it's helpful. We've got ChatGPT to be helpful. They're investing in authority, in someone's way that they lead themselves, the standard they hold, the knowledge they have, and the skills that they have, and perspective and experience to get that person there. Okay, so polite content can look like this, and polite content is safe, it's soft, it's agreeable. It teaches people, but it won't disrupt anything. And why we see a problem with that is just because your buyer's brain is going to scroll straight past it. It's seen 20 other pieces of content like that today. There's nothing there that's breaking their scroll, that's interrupting a pattern. Okay. So the no version, the polite version is Consistency is key. If you just keep showing up, your dream clients are eventually going to notice you. Just sell more. Just be more consistent with content, right? I'm hype girl energy. I'm telling someone, yeah, consistency is all you need. Why the fuck would they hire me? I'm not telling them anything new that they haven't already known they should be doing, right? Instead, I could go with the yes content, which is more authority driven. And it's like, if you're still posting daily, hoping to be noticed, you're actually not building a brand that's going to get you paid. You're begging for validation. Consistency without clarity of your brand DNA is literally just adding more noise to the online space, and then you're wondering why you're not getting hired. Your genius actually deserves to be in the hands of more people. That's exactly what my program Brand DNA is going to help you do. So see how one of them I'm like rah rah cheerleading, just giving a bit of like motivational life advice, but then see how the second one I'm actually solving a problem for someone. I'm showing them directly the path of like why they are where they are, what they think is working and why it's not working, and then what they need to do instead and what the outcome's going to be in one sentence, right? So why this works is that yes version, the brand DNA version, is it exposes the invisible problem that they already know, right? Consistency does not equal results. And everyone's like, just be more consistent. It's like, that's actually not going to work for you, right? I disrupt the pattern. I position myself as an authority who sees deeper than the average person or all the other advice they're getting and why it's not working for them. Okay. Another example, the no version could be my program helps you feel more confident and grow your business. Okay. And so does every other fucking program out there, right? So confidence, it's just not going to sell. It's fluffy. I'm speaking to everyone, right? What I could say instead is I could say, confidence isn't what's keeping you stuck in your business. It's that your brand is positioned as a commodity. And until your messaging can actually cut through the noise of every single other person and differentiate you, you're going to keep attracting clients who just want discounts instead of transformations. You're going to get people who ghost you. You're going to have to do hour-long sales calls just to sell like any offer because your content is not working harder than you. If you're finally ready for it to work harder than you, that's exactly what my program Brand DNA is going to teach you to do to position yourself as that one of one where people see your content and it is doing the buyer cycle for you and they land in your DMs ready. Right? So why this one is working is because buyers now see the gap between what they thought the issue was versus the real issue, right? They're like just being told you need to be more convicted in your message. And I'm like, that's not going to grow your business, right? Being convicted in your message isn't what you need. You actually need the positioning, right? So I'm showing them what they think versus what they actually need. That's the gap, right? So my authority has been established through being able to shift their perspective on what they thought their problem was versus what it actually is. Another example is a weak positioning could be you need to focus on building relationships with your audiences. That's why they're not buying. You need to nurture them more, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, Captain Obvious. The yes, brand DNA coded content, which is filled with authority, could be your audience doesn't need more friends. They actually need a leader. If your content is only relatable and only growth orientated trends, you're going to end up with cheerleaders in your comment section. They'll clap for you, they'll hype you up and say, yeah, girl, but they're never going to buy from you. Okay, so why this one works is it's reframing the desire for connection into a standard leadership, and the brain craves that, right? They want that. They care about that. It's status signaling to them that I know you want to be a leader, and I also know why you're not right now. I know you want to be in demand. I know you want significance. I know you want more power, and this is why you're not. So I'm signaling to them that I see them. I see what's happening. I know that's what they don't want, and this is why they have that. And I'm going to help them get out of it. So I've positioned myself as someone who can get them out of that, right? Another example. I'm giving you guys heaps of different examples from different angles just so that you can see how this plays out in real life time. Because I think like I can sit here and tell you the psychology all we want, but sometimes examples just work the best. I find my brain likes examples, so I'm giving you examples. Another example with the no version, the polite version, is like investing in yourself is important if you want to grow. Again, no fucking shit. Everyone should already be investing in themselves. You don't want people who you have to convince to invest in themselves, all right? What you want to do is say something like, investing in yourself is the most overused, empty advice online. Buyers don't invest in themselves, they actually invest in results. If your offer doesn't clearly map the transformation, no one cares how inspiring your content sounds when you're saying, invest in yourself, go all in, right? It's not going to work. So, why this one works is I've picked a cliche, invest in yourself. And I'm saying that's not the standard. Why are we speaking to that? That should already be the standard, right? That should already be like a fucking baseline. And I'm positioning myself as someone who is like, not a thought leader, but like a thought leader who is like, I'm thinking something different to what most people are going to tell you. Okay. So when we look at content, can you see a common theme through all of these? I am positioning, I'm not saying I think, I'm not saying I believe, I'm not saying, well, you could do this, but I think you should do this. I'm not hedging. I'm not trying to play it down. I'm not trying to disclaim for the 5 million reasons I know there could be another answer. Logically, I know that, but emotionally intelligent people can understand that they don't need all the nuance. They don't need me to disclaim all of it. They don't need me to hedge my content because they can fully fucking discern for themselves if it's for them or not, based on my messaging speaks only directly to my client. So only directly my client is going to see that and be like, yeah, that's for me. Yep, she's my person, right? So when we have a look at the cost of staying polite in your content, it's you being the good girl. You will continue to get ghosted. You will continue to have hype girls in your comments that never buy from you. You're on my vision board, Tayla. One day I want to work with you. Oh, I'm just not at that stage yet, but when I am, you're my coach. You're the one I'm investing in, right? It's like they'll keep doing shit like that to you because there's no reason, there's no disruption for them to do it now. So every post is teaching, but it's not disrupting. That's why it's polite. Free value doesn't make people buy. Agitating and activating something in them to be like, holy shit, I need to move. I need to raise my standard. That's going to make people move. Okay, so what we want to have a look at is instead of polite content, we want to expose invisible problems buyers didn't know they had. We want to create tension between their current reality and the one they want. We want to interrupt patterns and cliches and bold truths and what everyone else is saying. And we want to have our perspective on it. And don't be afraid to say your perspective, even if you know someone else in your industry has different, that's okay. You're allowed to step outside of that. And we want to elevate the standard instead of just letting people get away with like the bare minimum. Actually tell people what's involved. Don't just speak to desire and transformation. Tell them what it's going to take, how it's going to look getting there, what's going to come up along the way. Be real about the journey. People love that as authority. You're not being polite and being like, yeah, there'll be no hustle involved. You're like, no, there's going to be hard nights. There's going to be long days. There's going to be a lot of work. You're going to have to say no to XYZ, right? Be more honest about it. People will trust you more. People will see you as someone they want to hire because you're not trying to be polite, you're being honest. And the most honest, transparent people are the fucking realists because they don't need your money. They're not trying to say something to be polite and make you, oh, hire me, pick me. They don't care. They're like, if you're not willing to do the work, I don't want to work with you. That's why people see them as an authority because they're so set on that they know. So if you've been wondering why your content doesn't work, this could be one of the many reasons, but have a look at this. Are you being too polite? Are you just doing what everyone else is doing and saying? And then why would they hire you if ChatGPT says it, if their Reels tab says it, if every other fucking online health coach, business coach, hairdresser, whatever says it? Why would they hire you? Stop trying to be polite. Stop trying to be liked. Authority is built by contrast. Conversion is created by tension. And your brand becomes unforgettable when your content stop just teaching like everyone else. It's not bad to teach. Teaching is okay, but you have to also have this next step. Okay, you're teaching what everyone knows, but start disrupting what they've never considered. Start disrupting what they're doing that's not working and show them that you can understand that. Polite content gets you applause, it gets you cheerleaders, it gets you hype girls. But powerful content will get you positioned and it will get you paid. And that is what I want for you. Your invisible advantage is that you do have that little spice in you, but it's just not in your content yet. And that's what you need to do. And that's what Brand DNA positions you for. So Go and audit your content. Come back and listen to this if you need to so that you can pause and write it down and do your own examples. Write the fluffy version first, write the shit version first, and then try to take it deeper and be like, if I could have more of an opinion on this and a stance on this instead of trying to be palatable, what would I actually really want to say? Right? And start there. I hope this episode has been really helpful for you guys. I will see you in the next one.